Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new live stream. How you doing? My name's John Limcool. Hey, the announcement just showed up. We're live. I guess we're live. Let's see if we can add something else to this. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. I'm playing with the new library. Let's see here. Let's add something else. I was going to make a couple patches for you guys using Base Station and RAD Waves together. Let's compare to the BPM stuff. BPMs. And maybe a TR-303 kind of thing. Because yesterday was TR-303 day. Let's say search party. And let's do this. Let's right click to say you stop there. And then all of you guys right click. And just like that, I now have a groove with a split. Bass maybe needs to go up one more octave. You gotta get it squelchy. That's where the TB303 sounds really great is. I already know what to call this. Let's see. Where should we save it? That's the big question. Where should we save it? Anyway, hello to you all. Let me see if anybody's here. I haven't even checked the chat yet. There's nobody here. Oh, no. No, I think I saw a couple people there. So I think there's something going on. Hey. Thank you, Ivar. Thank you, vendor. You rad dude, you. I appreciate. Yeah, we're in Squelch. Well, yesterday was TB303 day. It's 303, March 3rd, TB303. So, by the way, RAD Waves is the new library that I'm going to be showing. Bass, synth bass, cutting edge. I released in October. Both of those are half off right now. So you can get, if you don't have RAD Waves or synth bass, go to the website. I have a link in the video description for RAD Waves. I didn't put a link for Base Station. I should put the link. But if you go to the pluginguru.com website, which is right here, and if you were to go to free goodies and stuff on sale, you will see RAD Waves here at the top of the list at its introductory price. and Synth Bass at its discounted price because it's on sale, as well as the Collective. We'll be playing with the Collective. I've gotten some samples from some of you guys, which is great. I hope we get more. Because we've got, let's see, we've got 21 more days. We've got 3 weeks left. So there's still lots of time to contribute to the library. So I'll be showing that to you. But here, let's save this. This is saved as BPM split. Need an S. BPM split. This is the RAD search party. RAD search party 303. And we'll save it to RAD Waves. Okay, so this is going to be a RAD Waves bonus patch. So we'll put, like, maybe we'll put a B at the end of it. And I'll put in here, it's a split. Actually, I'm going to put a Z. So it's at the end of the list because this is a bonus patch and it requires 2 libraries to work. So I don't want it to get confused. Split. Synth bass and RAD Waves groove. Let's see, it's good. Made with RAD Waves and Synth bass libraries. Need both for this to work. Okay. So actually, I should also say it's made at the live stream, right? Made during the 3-4-3 live stream. So save as. You guys want one more patch? I'll make one more bonus patch, and then we'll the RAD plugs are amazing. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, this library is really cool. So for those of you that I did a walkthrough video, RAD Waves is now out. It is was 129, now it's a 130 patch library. If you go up here to the search window and you type core, you will get the core samples that come with this library listed. There's 38 core sounds. There's bells, pads, there's 1 key, two key, and they're actually really cool sounds. So it's just 2 patches, but you know, when they're good patches, they've got to say something about it. Lots of pads, plucks, and synth. That's it. So we got cutting edge synth bass is just bass patches, and then this is your synth pluck. I'm kind of like doing separate libraries. There's going to be a special effect library, and I'm planning to do a cutting edge like rhythmic insanity library with all sorts of rhythmic. I got some really cool ideas for that. So there's still more libraries in this series for Unify I'm going to do. But these core sounds, they are sounds that I recorded from Razor. Stuff like that. Way too happy. The key sounds, this is from Razor. And I made a really cool combo patch using I don't do this very often in this library. Mostly I stick to just using those core sounds. But for Hopeful Tomorrows, I put the acoustic piano. I put a DX FM piano. And it's using one of the RAD. We'll talk about those in a second. Uses mass. Right? So it's this really, really cool combination. But underneath it is this. And the vibrato is in the samples. I actually looped the vibrato. Right? So if we go back to core, let me show you some of the other sounds. So RAD stands for really awesomely damaged. And what happened is in the 90s, I worked for Korg in their offices in Los Angeles, and an M1 came into the repair center that was broken. And some of these other sounds, like this one, really shows the... Hi, Shane. Welcome. It has this like weird sound to it. It's because it's playing back as like 6-bit audio. It's supposed to be nice, pretty waveforms, but because of being dropped, so like the orchestra, and what's really fun is if you combine this with something like the full orchestra from the BBC Symphony Orchestra. Let's see, you can do that. So let's go, let's see, Insta score. Let's just load this, see what happens. It'll take a minute for it to load all the samples because I haven't loaded any BBC samples. Turn off that. Maybe I will instead load just the full orchestra long. Be a little bit more appropriate for this, but so we could, let's go over here. It's got to be short. We'll start a little sooner, so we'll move up the sample start. And then change the attack just a little bit. So now you can put this like digital... Without it, it's nice and clean. Add. Take it up an octave. And then put it in there. Now you have a different vibed orchestra. Not one that's just, you know, the... You can shape this even a little more. Let's go to the filter and bring down the cutoff. I'm going to have fade up. That right there. That way it has a little bit of a breath in the frequencies. So now it goes away. It's just there in the attack of the sounds. So there's all sorts of fun ways to use these to change up sounds that we're familiar with, to give them kind of like your own signature kind of personality for a project you're working on. You have just a little bit of... That sounds very different than, you know. So they work for all sorts of different applications like that if you want them to. But the RAD Waves are these M1 samples. These were recorded in the 90s. Probably about 1992, I'm guessing, 91, 92. I don't remember. I'd have to, I might have the actual original samples on a computer downstairs to see what the date was of the original recordings. But it was all recorded originally to DAT tape. And then I copied from the DAT machine to the computer long time ago, the samples. And then they've sat on my hard drives for like 30 years. Hey, Ives, thank you. Hot. Appreciate that. So yeah, so there's all sorts of other sounds. The BB samples, these are from Beautifully Broken. Which is from a library for Omnisphere. Let's see if we say new instrument, call up Omnisphere really quick. There's a library that I did about 4 years ago, called Beautifully Broken. And it's over here. And so a lot of these same sounds can be found in this library. I'm not going to go searching to try to find them because it'll take a while. By the way, there's going to be a bonus added to this library that you guys are going to be getting with a whole bunch of drum loops. The drum loops from Beautifully Broken, I have them in form so I can get them working inside of Unify as recycle files, which means they'll follow tempo and stuff like that. So that is a bonus that will be coming free to this library, probably in maybe next week. I might have them ready for next week. Ken, yeah, we will be talking about that because we're going to be recording. I think we're going to be recording my log drum today, later on. So stick around. It's either that or else it's my Chinese chocolate candy tin box, which also makes it really cool. All sorts of really cool samples from that. So yeah, we'll be sampling some here in a bit. So stick around. After I want to show the library first. There's some other things I want to show that are new that people have been releasing. We want to talk about. There's the pluck samples, which are really fun. From Razor, from other synthesizers in my room behind me. And cool synths. Oh, well then I won't do the log drum. You can do the log drum. Oh, I also have, maybe we'll sample this because I don't think any of you have a glass vase. But if you have around your house, go looking at your wife's, or you might have your own glass vases, but I buy these at used shops because they're beautiful tones. Yeah, no, you can do the log drum, and then if your log drum is different than my log drum, I'll record mine too, so we can have a little fun with log drum stereo or something like that, you know? But anyway, other synths. So there's 38 of these instruments, as you can see in total. The V stands for Vital. Really, really cool, big J-pop radio. That kind of a thing. Vast Abyss is really cool. I love things with lots of bright content because you can turn on Pump House to get a real... Another thing coming in the bonus, I've been collecting all of the different BPM pulsing Pump House presets that I've made for this library. And let's see if we go to some of these crazy ones like Bossa Nova. Doesn't sound right, does it? Well, take it to like there. There. And then you go over here to like the full standard library to show you how this works. Turn off core. BPM drum. Right? Oh, I see another bonus patch coming on. Let's see here. Let's go back to RAD Waves. Let's find a BPM patch that can work. Let's add a pluck to it. Let's add Atomic Waves. This is really cool. How's that? And let's have a pad. We need something to fill it up a little bit, right? So let's go pads. Let's put Spirits Alive, which is really bright and kind of brashy, and let's make it fit. So let's go over here to Unified. Inside, every layer in this library has a pump house on it, ready to go. So you can it's just so fun. Let's try another preset. Let's go to the Rhythmic Insanity. Not triplets. I think for this one, I'm going to make a custom one. So if I want to make a custom one, you go to the numbered pulse presets. Let's say 8 steps down. And now it's playing like a 30-second notes. And let's do this. Let's take off loudness because I don't want low frequency. So I have the frequencies that I want. Now, the key is this. Okay, let's go to the macro knobs, go to the release, make it a little shorter. Now, you can go to Pump House that's doing all of these steps now and eliminate every other step. Let's say for the beginning. Have this grow, it brings down. That's cool. And then let's do this just for fun. We could do another pump house on top of this, doing a side chain. So go side chain number 3. This will give it some more dynamics. And then I want to solo this so I can hear it. And let's get the sound right. I wanted to still sound like a pad. I'm just looking for the frequencies that I wanted to pop through. Right there, then bring down the cutoff gain, the resonance. Now, a cool trick on top of this is to put a delay to do a little stereo splashing. And let's bring down the filter, the feedback, the taps, make them darker. Maybe let's use a different. And let's see, I want this one to be. Here we go. There. And maybe I want to put another pump house. I'm really into pump house lately, just because getting dynamics out of stuff without having to get into deep programming and stuff like that is really fun. So we'll go. Let's see what we can do to this drum groove really quick. Let's give it, I'm going to make it a little bit more modern sounding by putting a gate on it. So we're going to go over here to dynamics, stereo, where's the envelope? Let's see if we can find the right input that will work. That's cool. I didn't expect it to do that, but I thought it'd be more. That's not quite the vibe I wanted. Let's see what else we got here. Maybe we'll let's try this. Let's just kill the reverb like this. Let's say bye to you. This will make it really short. More early reflections. And this early reflection is really cool. It's determined by the size. Just a little more splash. Let's turn everybody down 2 dB so we can turn the drums up 2 dB. Cool. All right, so let's save this. BPM split. What should we call it? So this is using Vast Abyss. It's called jamming. Abysmal jamming. Abyss. A-B-Y. Abyss. Miami Mice. I like that. Miami Mice. Okay, Miami Mice. Okay, sure. All right, fun jam made during the live stream. 30423. OIN. Fun jam. Okay, save as. Now this is one that does not require anything but RAD Waves and Unify. So be aware of that. I'm not going to put this into the Z category. We'll just call this a bonus patch. Because I want to distinguish that if there's something in the B, in the Z, let's say update. So that way it goes to bonus. I'll make a few more bonus patches once the drum loops are put into the library and stuff like that. So you'll be able to go up here and say bonus. And you'll see that. So, oh, winter is coming should not be bonus. Here's one where it's bonus octave. I'm going to change the comment. Oh, I can't because it's a UPF file. I'll do that for the when we get the bonus content released and update. I have the full protected version of the library, so I can't change the patches. But anyway, so there's those. Miami Mice. Yeah, I like that. That's fun. So we have Miami Mice. And so if we go over here, reveal in the Finder, go to the date modified. At the top of the list are these two patches. So let's compress. And this is RAD Livestream Bonus 030423. Let me put that into a Dropbox location and give you a link. I won't make any more bonus patches today, I don't think. think, but that was fun. I could sit and make bonus patches all day. You guys know me. I love so. 0304 RAD Waves bonus. Go like that, and then take this and put this here. Copy the Dropbox link. And here you go. Again, you need to own the RAD Waves. If you want to play the Z patch, this Search Party 303. Because it's the TB303 month. And the cutting edge synth bass has a whole bunch of TB303. It has all these TB303 samples, and then the BPM basses. There's all sorts of, let's see, BPM bass, TB303 stuff here. Search Party is what we use for that jam. And then we actually use Search Party with the drum groove. There's all these jams. I won't touch making my making bonus patches. I'm tingling to make more, but I won't. But then the other BPM split that we did right here, Miami Mice, this does not require bonus. So right. So those are fun. So this is a really fun library. It's 1 gigabyte in size. It's because of the way that I programmed it, I did a lot of focusing on making sure I was just using these 38 samples for most everything that you hear. So let me show you some of the BPM stuff. This is really fun. Silly stuff like that. I'm using my Machine Jam over here for real-time knob controls. I have these, as you can see, so that they're touching the knobs on the interface. So I could be changing things in real time really quickly, doing things that you can't do with the mouse. So it's fun to do stuff like that. In Mortal Kombat. Razorback. Cool lead. 16 candles for I love atomic wave pulses. Really, really pretty. This is using CC Rider. As you can see, it's got this shape. And then it's moving a knob. It's assigned to the dry and wet for noise box. If I wanted to, I could go over here and say effect noise box. Let's also have it do like the post filter. You can add additional things just as easily as adding any mod you want. Let's say LFO cutoff depth. So you can do all sorts of fun things really easily because this knob's just moving, and whatever you assign to this knob, or if I go to any other parameters, here's air. If I right click and I say assign this to CC20, now it's also listening to the MIDI from CC Writer. So now, you know, so it's that easy. We've gotten an email from a couple people that have had an error message pop up that CC Writer is missing. That's probably because you haven't updated Unify to 1.9.1. So make sure you go over here and make sure. I'm running a new beta, so I have a few other things going on in here that you guys don't have yet. But make sure you're at 1.9 so you don't get that error message. The drum groove is in the patch. It's over here. Groove on and off. Turn this on. Some patches have a groove, some patches don't. So just look for it. Now this is one, if you hit solo, you can hear the two elements. There's a noise element from the factory library, the red paper worms noise. That makes a really cool like comet flyby effect. So you put that over the top of a pad, which means you could say, instead of this pad, you could say mute this. You could go to any other pad in the library, let's say Fluff or Falling Eternal or whatever, and say load to a new Unify layer, and every one of the patches, if you load as a Unify layer, the knobs are still active, so you can filter it. If you go to the second page, because there's 17 controls, Pump House is right in here. And then if you want, go to Pump House and change the preset. Go here and say saw down and change the rate. And then if I combine that with the original Comet Flyby, I think I have another bonus patch for you. Let's do this. To make it a little bit different, let's go to the noise that's being used for the Comet. Let's change it to be just pure noise. Put a little random LFO that I had hidden in there. And let's also have it do a sawdown pump. So we have a little bit more of a solid rhythm going on. And I want this to pulse, but I want it to be silent half of the time. Maybe it can pop up for a second. And I don't want it to go so high, so let's look over here at the filter. Let's bring this down a little bit. Get a little bit more resonance. There, I want it to be more of a rhythmic element, and I already got the name for this. Let's see. Ping pong universe. How's that? Bonus. Another one. 0304 live stream. Save as. Save. Now this top pulse, let's make it a little bit different. And I think I'm using the pulse inside of the actual Guru sampler. We kind of like tucked Pump House as an LFO into Guru sampler. So I can go here. Let's say let's go to some of the, like, there's these rhythmic pulses. Doesn't sound right, but so. I want to be a little bit more broken, so some other presets, rhythmic presets. And you can always balance it between the depth of this and the filter cutoff. And bring up the amp. And now it's like Pump House, because Pump House is just changing amp, but here we can change amp, filter, and pitch at the same time if we want. There, that's more ping pong. Kind of fun. Now, there's a lot of reverb going on here. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Let's get this to be a little bit more defined, because it's a little. That should work better. Let's see how it goes. Maybe I want it to be a little bit brighter. Remember, I brought this down quite a bit. There we go. I just want a little bit of dancing in the frequencies. Because this way, let's go to just to test it. This is the test. I won't keep it in here. But if we're over here to go over to like some of the hip grooves. Let's know this. I might not have the right groove, so I'm gonna go like this. I can change it. Try smooth. Yeah, that works nice. Let's do this. Let's put a high pass. I don't want the 808 to come through, so go filter max. Let's do this. Let's go to the standard library. BPM kicks. Here's some of the dance pattern ones that aren't far on the floor. works. I'm not going to keep the groove in here. It's really easy to add grooves. If you have Cloud City, you're just adding skip smooth, and then I added a high pass filter, and then this is just the kick pattern 1. Easy to add if you want to add those. Let's get rid of this. So it's just back to simple. And update, and let me update the file because I have I keep adding new bonus patches for this. Let's see here. So let's go options save. So it shows up. So reveal in the Finder. All right, now there's all these patches. Let's see. Get rid of. I'm going to keep the same name for the file, but it's now 3 patches. So let's go compress one more time. Name it. I'm going to call it version 2 just so that it's clear. So it's going to be called version 2. Let me put this into a box of dropping. Let's see, where to go. And thank you for you guys just hanging around and being patient with this. I didn't have a huge agenda for today's live stream, but I still want to show up and let's play and make some bonus patches and sample and stuff like that. Talk about the bonus library, which is coming out really cool, by the way, already. Here we go. Version 2. And let me go to the video description and say bonus patches and the file. But I need to say one of the patches requires cutting edge synth bass. Just so we're clear. Paste, so it's in the video description as well for free stuff. Exactly. It's like, you know, plus I hope you guys are learning the programming, and watching someone program is one of the great ways to learn programming, right? So now you can also turn these on by just clicking the little X button when they're grayed out. But I have a knob set up so you can stuff like that. God, there's so many fun patches. I love Kisses from a Butterfly and Dragon because this is using I'm actually going to make a video this week where I dissect 10 patches from the library. But you see how CC Writer has this shape to it. This is assigned. Let's see if I bring this down. This is assigned to the LFO rate, actually. So it's doing a cool slowing. Actually, I think it might be just the LFO rate, the beat division. And this only plays for the first half of the groove. The second half of the phrasing is done with the second layer. I have a pump house with a square shape. It's off. Now it's on. Whereas the one up here, it's on and then off. If I had this showing up like this, now you hear it a little bit. Right? And if I wanted to change the rhythm itself, I could go over here to this macro knob, the link parameters. And if I wanted to go like start. You can change the rate by changing the curve of the. So this curve is defining the rate of the LFO. play with this curvature to get any rhythm that you want out of this. And then the Dragon is just a brighter version with more EQ and stuff. Right? Stuff like that. Fighting the Cold is really cool. It's huge. But if you bring down if you actually bring it up, filter, the macro gets brighter. If you bring the modulation wheel down, you'll hear these LFOs show up. Yes, if you miss something that I'm doing, remember this will be played back on YouTube, and you can always pause and go back in the videos and watch steps again if you need. So there's all sorts there's over 50 BPM patches in the library. Had a lot of fun. These synchro stuff are really fun. And this has a groove hidden. You can see this one layer that's dark green. So move up the groove on and off knob. So there's all sorts of... I want to show you one that's really, really fun in the BPM synth. Down here in the swinging, snappy spirits. This is really, really fun. Now this is using Blue ARP, and I use some radical gate time shapes, and velocity stayed the same. But the timing, so it's 16th notes, but the swing parameter up here is at 28%, right? Well, you can change the swing parameter with this knob. Now there's no swing. Bring up the release shorter. Bring up swing. I love that one. I love that vibe. Travels through the bloodstream. Those pluck sounds are so fun to play with. And this is using a Clang Falter for the, if you stretch this out so you can see, right here's Clang Falter is being used. It's the soda bubbles. Let's make this really short. I'm going to show you a couple of tricks with Clang Falter. Clang Falter is actually one of the most flexible convolution reverb preset effects I have seen from anybody, and it's free. It's part of Unify. But check this out. Some of the things you can do with this is you can use shape, and then take the begin to skip into later in the sample. So even though it's a long sample of soda bubbles, I can shorten it and shape it Give it more stereo width. I was cutting out low frequencies. I could also cut out some high frequencies. I can also stretch it, which does a tuning thing. This tunes it down in pitch, which makes it longer. This tunes it up in pitch. So even though the sample is this really long sound, by changing parameters in here, you can change it all sorts of cool ways. Give it a gap. Up to 9, I think up to 1,000 milliseconds, 1 second. So it's super flexible. Don't overlook this reverb. It's actually really, really fun to do all sorts of stuff with any sample as a convolution preset too, which is kind of fun. So just be aware of that. These chords came out really cool for the really... Oh, I hit the wrong button in Apple Music, which one of my most least favorite, it's the most useful piece of Apple software on the planet. They screwed it up so bad. Thank you, Apple. But don't ask me what I really think. Anyway, so RAD Waves got really cool synth sounds, plug, bells. And it sounds like a different synthesizer than anything inside a Unify. So you're buying a whole new synthesizer for under $50, basically, because I kind of voiced it like I was voicing the voicing for a new product. So I go it alone for the mellow. You're doing chill. Or in church. Yeah, Cloud City is by far my favorite library. I mean, I love this library. Don't get me wrong, but Cloud City is really special. For one thing, I haven't mentioned this before, but Sunny, the wonderful, beautiful spirit that played the flutes on this library, is no longer with us. And so we lost him actually over a year ago. But he played some incredible, he sent me these samples of his flute. He makes these flutes that he's sampled and but there's flute chops and stuff from Sunny. And we lost him. He's not with us anymore. But this library has so many beautiful sounds in it. You get to these really cool BPM perk. I sampled all of these percussion instruments, so you have this crazy stuff, and then Sunny playing flute up top. And if you change the flute type to this knob here, it's sampled phrases. So Sunny's spirit lives on in this library. It's got, this is a really, really special, and it's 500 patches. So I went kind of crazy on this one. There's these tongue drums that I sampled. And then I made cycles, and then I recycled them so that you can take this and combine it with the drums. It's crazy, crazy library. Very, very, very fun. Anyway, so RAD Waves is going all over the place and doing all sorts of fun things with synths, bells, plucks, percussion. These are really cool. Again, you can combine those with other sampled libraries and bring out all sorts of really cool stuff like that. There you go. So, yeah, it's a great memorial for him. Good guy. Very good guy. He's also in the free Uniscream libraries. He he played some flutes and screams and stuff, and we had a really good time making that little stuff. Good. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you with this library. If you have any questions, there's a walkthrough video just before this one that I go through all the patches without talking, which is rare, but I just kind of felt like going through it. These special effect patches are really cool. In the video I'm going to be making, I'll show you how I made some of these, because some of these are kind of fun to like this one is made in a very unorthodox way. Because Unify is an unorthodox plugin, I'm finding different ways of okay. Let's do some announcements. There's some new software that came out this week. One of them that I've seen a number of you guys have jumped onto is from GeForce Audio. That's Mini Monster 2. They have updated it with a resizable interface. Now, if you notice in the corner over here is my black Mini Moog Voyager, which I love. And they gave it a cool sounds very nice. 3 oscillators. They did additional work to the filter. Right? I think the introductory price for this is like $49. So after you buy RAD Waves for Unify, go get this if you want. It's a great synth. Came out really good. Also interesting, let's see what else came out. Minimal Audio has released a really cool delay called Cluster Delay. I don't have it to show you. I sent a request if they wanted to send me an NFR, and I haven't heard back from them. But it can do some interesting things. It has an effect module after the delay that can process the delay taps in cool ways. Thought that was really cool. So minimal.audio. They also make Rift, which is a really cool synthesizer. No, it's an effect still, right? I have Rift here, so I could show it to you, but not today. On top of this, let's see what else was coming out. There's 2 things I want to show you from Wave Alchemy. They have a they've been advertising pretty heavy on triads. Even if you don't buy it, I would suggest downloading the demo, because the demo gives you everything in wave format. So you can load these into Unify or other places that can play wave samples. And it's a contact instrument, which requires contact. But again, where is it at? I have it over here. Where did I put it? Here's the triads demo, which gives you, let's see, if we go over here and we say contact. It's nice to be running a new computer that can run the latest version of contact. For a while there, I didn't have that ability. It's basically a drum sequencer groove combo kind of a plugin. Let's go like this. It's going to take a second to load up the interface because it has a lot to load. Okay, thank you. Cool samples. It's got a sequencer. You've got control over time, chance, repeat. This is just a demo version. So you can do all that kind of cool stuff. But even if you don't buy it, if you go here to the samples folder, it's got everything organized. And they have, it's somewhere over 600, 500 samples of all sorts of really cool things that are in here. So claps and kicks and all sorts of stuff. So thank you, Wave Alchemy. It's nice of you guys to subs, noises. There's Foley, there's all sorts of things. So even if you don't buy it, download the demo for it so you have some samples to play with. I don't think they can limit you on using the samples if they're providing them in the download. I don't know. I might want to read the fine print to see what they say about that and if they would even follow through on stuff like that. Anyhow, it's kind of unknown. But there it is. It's an interesting sequencer, sound editing, and all that kind of stuff. Plugin for Contact. They also have something. I'm going to make a video showing this, but they also have shown, and a lot of you guys, I've heard from people that have gotten Glow, which is a take on a really killer vintage reverb. Let's see if I go to Unify. The AMS, I think it's RMX 16 was the name of the original version. I want to show you something kind of interesting. You don't have to buy this plugin. You can buy this plugin. It has ducking. It has some other things. But the reverb selecting and stuff like that is from a preset list, which tells me that it's convolution presets. If you want, there is a guy that has Nevo has created, and it's for sale for, it's like half off for the RMX 16 convolution reverb presets. And I was showing you Clang Falter earlier, right? Well, Clang Falter can load those presets. And if you were to go to your Unify folder and make an impulse responses folder, and then I put into here actually a symbolic link to the original library because I have it inside of Logic's presets so that Logic can use these samples as well. But by making a link to this folder and putting it into the impulse responses here, if I wanted, I could say, let's do this. Let's call up like just a Cloud City groove really quick, just so I have something to play. Let's just say like Taxi Driver, right? So let's go over here. Let's just on the master output, go to Reverb, Clang Falter, and then I can go here to the show in the browser. If I click here, I now have a user impulse response folder, and you can set that up under settings. You can say, where is the user impulse response folder? Click this, point it to the response folder, and now I have access to all of this AMS. Here's the very famous nonlinear. The big famous thing is that this is used for like all the Phil Collins. There's also really cool plates. And now you have control with those parameters I was showing you inside of Clang Falter for decay. Let's have the end shorter. So I can gate anything with this. Say begin, bring this in. So you can take the reverb presets and go all sorts of places inside of, whoa, okay, right? So if you want to get the reverb from Glow type of a vibe, just pick up the impulse responses for sale from Nevo. And now you have access to those reverbs without needing a plugin. You can use them inside of Unify. They have the Nevo, he's actually made so that he's got presets for Ableton and for Logic and all sorts of things. So you get all of the different presets. That's what the reverb looked like. It's one of the first digital reverbs that came out, and it was used for the famous toms and so forth. Here he is showing it inside of various plugins and stuff like that. So that's a really just little power tip for those of you guys that want to get these types of reverbs. Once you set this up, and if you do a little searching, you can find free impulse responses all over the net that people have created. And again, it's just as easy as making something crazy to put into Clang Falter to play as an impulse response if you want to. It's really, really, really fun. Okay, so let's do a sampling thing really quick. Let's do the vase, because that would be simple and fun. Let's go over here to Logic. Hello, Logic. We're going to record just with this microphone, just to keep it simple. And I've got a number of different mallets here, so we'll make it with a couple different mallets. Got that mallet. We've got a harder mallet. So let's just try to record and see what we come up with. There's not big rocket science to recording samples. There is as far as to placement, you know, be in a quiet room. The best time to record is at night when everybody else is asleep. There's no cars outside if you're in a busy area. Make sure you don't have fans, you don't have heaters. Turn off air conditioning. Well, if most people have heaters going right now, but turn all that off. If you have a noisy computer, maybe point your microphone so you're not facing with this pointing into your microphone of your computer and stuff like that, right? And then just record. Let's do this. Go back. So this is the glass vase. You can play it different places. That distorted. You can also do cool effects like play soft. Let it ring out is really important. So when you play samples, make sure it rings out before you play another note. Look at your waveform while doing this. Stripe so that you know what you use. So like that was the blue hammer. I'm going to now use this is like a bass drum hammer, mallet. Very different sound. Let's do some rhythms. Usually rhythmic stuff uses a smaller stick. And you're listening with headphones. And I always think like, okay, what can I do for a bass drum? Put it up against your body. You can mute it some by holding the vase so it doesn't ring versus ringing. Step back a bit if it's distorting. And just listen when you're playing it. If you're doing a log drum, just as an example for something different, with this, you can play at different places on the tongs. You can mute other tongs if you want, so that you just get one versus ringing. Soft hits, hard hits. Just watch your levels. Don't distort like I am. So, and then you can go through this. What I do then, typically, Logic has some really nice tools. I should also show you there's another, well, I won't get into it, but hold Control X, and let's say minimum sample time, a little bit. This is just going to give me some rough approximations and make 251 phrases that I can now go through and say, okay, what do I want to keep? Turn off record. This is the glass vase. Now, as you see, those are short. So I want to go over here and make the regions longer. So it rings all the way out. Let's say I like these three, just for examples. I'm going to name this, well, I might want to do this. I'm on drums right now. So if I go to Unify, even hitting init will give you a sine wave for tuning, which is really helpful. It's almost C. Yeah. So C4. So let's see. Let's call it a bell. Bell, glass, vase, C4, 1. And I call it 1 inside of Logic because Logic is going to add a number to the end of each one of these. So I can take these and now I can say export as audio files to my desktop. And it shoots these out as 3 separate samples. Now I'm going to, if you were doing something that, let's do it this way. We'll put them into the actual folder. So inside of the libraries folder, if you've downloaded the GuruNation Collective, there will be a samples folder that you want to open. Guru Collective, and then samples, and then make a folder with your name, and then put all of your samples that you create in there just to be safe. So that way, if you do something and decide to keep it and send it to me, they're already in your samples folder. So I have a John Limkel samples folder with some stuff in here already. So I can say bells. Now, some of you have reported Bjorn's sample mapper doesn't work, and I'm sorry if that's the case. You can look at an SFZ file that we've created and modify it pretty easily to play with your samples. I might make a video showing that. We'll see. But I had the soft, medium, and loud. So I'm going to load this in first. But here's what I want to do. I actually have automated quick keys for renaming stuff to do this, but I'm not going to do it right now. I'll just do it manually since it's only 3 samples. I want to put the number inside of the name so that C4 is at the end of the name, because that way Sample Mapper will be able to automatically map it to the right pitch. So we go over here, we drag it over. It pops up this thing where you say root, and if you scroll down the list, you see it says root key. It's got from the name C4. So we import. There it is. So let's go to number 2. These are, I didn't do these as velocity. Let's do this as velocity. So velocity range. This is a soft one, so we'll have it go, oh wait, this is key range. Velocity range, let's have this first one go 0 to about 70 something. And let's go vase 2. And when I load this, I'm going to say import to a new group so it's easy to manage. Root key from name. Let's look down here to make sure it got it. It did. Import. So now I can click this new sample in group, and here's where you choose your groups. And I'm going to say start. So the first group 0. That was 0 to 74. So we'll go to import 1 and select it and say velocity range of 75. And we'll have it stop at like maybe 1.9. Only the hardest hit to pop when you hit a harder velocity. So let's go over here. Third sample, get the name, and it didn't get it right. So I'll have to, sometimes it doesn't do that past certain group numbers I've found out. So import, select this, change the root key to C4 manually over here. 2, 3, C4. And for velocity, we want the bottom range to be 110, right? So 110. So I now have 3 groups. 19, okay? So we can go save this as an SFZ instrument. And we will call this a bell, glass, vase, velocity switch times 3, just so I know what's going on. And then I could make these as separate samples too. So I could say new, and I would say glass vase 1, root name, scroll down to find it in the list, make sure it says C4, import, save as, and this is not a velocity switch, so it's just across the keyboard. So bell, glass, vase, soft, and save, and make sure that this was vase 1, right? So we say new, yes, go glass vase 2, look at the name here, root name, import, save as, and I can find it in the list, and so say go medium velocity, and then new, yes, and then take the third. I forgot to put a space, but I've already made SFZs. Don't change sample names after you started making SFZ files. You will mess everything up. So let's go over here. And if you do that, you just have to make the SFZs again. Thankfully, in this case, SFZs are not that hard to make, medium and hard. Now, if you don't have sample mapper working, I want to show you real quickly. I won't go into super great detail on this, but you could go to an existing SFZ file, take a look at it in a sample editor, and all it is basically the reference to the sample name, which you can change. And then up here where this says default, says samples, and then John Limco samples. If you have your own folder, if you change this to your name samples or whatever your name of your folder is, you can pretty easily get samples to play without needing sample mapper. And if you wanted to get to some of these that have like the velocity switching one that I just made, I'll make this new version available to you guys. But you can see that it has a key, high, low, high vel, low vel, all that kind of stuff, right? So let's check it out inside of Unify and see how we did. Typically, you'd want to do that early. So all you have to do is go Guru Sampler. Go to this new library that we're working on, Collective. And here's all the samples. So here's the 3 velocity switch. And soft. Now that soft sample, I've got something in the sample, so I'd want to fix that, but there. So we could play these individually. Here's the soft. And in a case like this, if you find a sample that doesn't work, what you can do, go back to Logic or wherever you sequence these and you've pulled them out as separate samples, find another sample that might work. Let's see here. Let's not that one. Distorted. You can also do cool effects like, oh, let's do the effect one. That'd be really fun. Like I liked right in there. So if I drag this out to be anyway, but if you found, let's say, I don't know if I did any others that were, the other thing you can do is you could go fix the sample. So if you go to Unify Libraries, we're at Collective Samples. If I go to that sample and I open it in a sample editor, I could maybe fix that. We'll see. No, the click is in the sample, so there's not any way to fix it. Anyway, at some point you would want to go in here and maybe get rid of the gaps and silence at the beginning of the samples. This information is not stored in the sample map. The only thing that would be stored is the loop points. So if you've looped something, you can't do this. But if it's a one shot like this, you can take the samples, put them into your sample editor. See, there's gaps here. So we could get rid of the gap. If I needed to put a little fade at the end or add extra silence or remove silence that's at the end of the samples, you could do that this time too. Save. I typically don't suggest sampling or normalizing just because this sample that sounds really nice, if I normalize this, chances are it's going to, well, my system here is really quiet, so it's not that bad. But the character of samples changes when you normalize. As you bring it up, you're bringing up the headroom and the character and stuff like that. Yeah, we could do key sounds. I mean, anything anybody wants to create for this library. Let me show you real quickly. We've got some really cool stuff. To finish the thing, if you have a bad sample, find a replacement sample and give it the same name. Just copy this name, delete this from the folder, put the new sample in and give it the name of the sample that was bad. And now when you call it up in Unify, it will call up the new sample that's been fixed that works, right? So now if we wanted to, I want to do that effect thing really quick just to show you how fun those types of things are. So let's call this bell glass vase. We'll keep the name the same for everything of a certain thing. So glass, vase, mallet, roll. C4. And so I would hold down and export this as an audio file to my desktop. And then I'm going to open this in another program from Bjorn. I think you can hear these, hopefully. Not Session. Session to Wave is a really great tool for pulling out samples if you do that. We want to use Endless Wave. Let me check loopback really quick. Make sure. Can you hear this? If I, let's see. Yeah, it should be there in the list. So if we go here to this and I play this, you hear it, right? So I just hold down the shift key and click and drag, and this is how you make sample start and end points. And then I can just go like this. Well, let's see. You want to move the start in a little bit and then go like this. We choose this for the or shorter. Yeah, I want something like this vibe, like right here. Maybe not much crossfade. The other thing you can do that's interesting with this program is it has a tool under Edit, Auto Adjust Loop End. Actually, Auto Adjust Loop Start and End will look and find places where this can loop. I kind of actually like this right here. There's maybe a little bit of cross. There. Okay. And then if I go save, it should, I believe, even in this case, well, here, typically I go Command Shift next. Yeah, previous. Yeah, see how it lost the end of the sample? It's all gone. So it's all ready to be, it optimizes it, it creates the sample, it puts it into the actual audio, which is great. Now I can go back to here, and I lost my window, but if I go libraries, collective, here we go, samples. We'll go just a little bit over to show you how this works. Bell, glass wave. Now I'm going to take and drag, let's see, get sample mapper up, say new, yes. And then I can drag over glass face mallet roll and say by name and import. And it imported the loop settings. If you take a sample and you loop it later, you can always go to this load page, even selecting all groups, so it does it to all groups, and say update all files in the group, and it will update the information for loop points, which is really nice. Save SFC as, and then bell, glass, bass, mallet, roll. Save. So now, if I go over here, if I change directories, we have a little lightning bolt, but it doesn't work right now. If you go here to mallet roll, now you got this really cool mallet roll. And these kinds of sounds are so fun with motion. And then what you want to do, go layer, empty layer, so you have the sine wave. And then use fine tune. So you can play the samples together with a sine wave. Find where it works, and that's how you tune the samples inside. And then we could go over here, we could say, add a nice auxiliary reverb just by going to reverbs. Let's say like maybe a nice Secret Fantasy Hall. And then make sure you go to the outputs and you say Master Optimizer Light. There. And I have this thing that I can go to RAD Waves. I can go to the pads. Even like Go It Alone would be really pretty with this. You know? Right? So it works. So I can go save to the collective, bell, glass, vase, mallet, roll, and we can add all the other details later. We go save as and save. Now we've got some fun things. Look at all these wind instruments that were sent to me by Theory in France. Oboe. So thank you for those. Bob Deedes did this incredible mouth whistle. And I took these and I made a really nice lead. So and if we update this library, we'll get the so bring in some samples. Hopefully this gets you guys kind of inspired to make some samples. It's fun to have sounds from other people to work with. So here's the glass vase. Right? The green flute that we did last week, I mapped it out. I'm actually going to use auto tune to tune the flute. So I drop in pitch and the shorts. And then the accents are here. So those are from last week's session. We'll do a little recording session each week for the next 3 weeks. We'll keep adding new things during the live streams to this. Let's see. So nice to create. Is this bonus too? So this is a bonus library that everybody is invited to contribute to. Yeah, you're welcome. So, but this is a library of samples, kind of like our own piano book labs kind of a thing. Just record a synthesizer, plug in any synthesizer you have, record a couple notes, map them on the keyboard. Just send us the samples if you can't map it. It doesn't take us long to map the samples if you can't make the sample maps. But just contribute some sounds. And then if you want, run it through effects in software like cassette and other things to give vibe to the samples if you want to make them retro. There's all sorts of ways to do things like that to create different things. I don't have it here to show, but I think next week I am really excited to be bringing you guys Tim Dale's new library. That is probably going to be showing up next Friday, next Thursday night. Friday morning is like about the same time I released RAD Waves. So those of you that have Omnisphere that are craving some Tim Dale patches, we have a new library from him that I think we'll be able to get out next week. So JMJ Graham's, Mark, I'm not sure what library that's from. Let me see here. JMJ Graham's. JMJ. What is Graham's JMJ from? What address to send samples to Unify support at pluginguru.com. That would be the email address. It's included if you go to the Plugin Guru website. Let's see, Plugin Guru. I can't type. If you go to the pluginguru.com website, right now it's available under the free goodies link. If you click here, it's right here. You can add it to your cart. It's free, but you need to go through the buying process so that it's inside of your user libraries that you own. So that way it's easy to get updates. Get this, download it. It has instructions about everything that we're doing to contribute to the library. It'd be fun for anybody that wants to contribute samples to dive in and contribute. So that is the plan. And we've got some good stuff going on already to be in the library. So you can, you can't attach files to our contact on the website. But if you went to the contact page and sent a question, what's the address? But I don't have any grains in there, I don't think. Are you talking about like just the where is it? The bloodstream one that I did. Travels through the bloodstreams, that kind, or the new one. Anyway, I'm not sure what you mean, Mark, but that's great. All right, well, thank you for joining us for today's live stream. I think we'll be wrapping it up. If you guys want to do your shout outs from wherever you are in the world, it's always fun to see where everybody's out. From Portland, Oregon. It's still a little bit too cold here in Portland and way too wet. Okay. Toodles from Orlando. Toodaloo. Nice. Florida, Amsterdam, Atlanta. Germany, Colorado, Indiana, Wisconsin. Cool. Tap loud command funk. I like that, Michael. Cool. Milwaukee, UK. Got some France in there. Tim in the UK. Yeah, Tim, I'll be in touch with you really, really soon. Okay? So that's all good, man. Santa Cruz says, hola. Hola. Hola, Manuel. Nice to see you. Thank you. All right. Germany. Good to see you. Virginia. Thank you, Don, for being here. And thank you for your support, as always. We appreciate it. Bye. It was fun. Good. Good, Alexander. Glad to see that. We'll see you next Saturday. We'll do it again. We'll sample something different. Maybe I don't know what we'll sample. We'll find something to sample. I have so many things around here to sample. It's not even, maybe we'll sample a synthesizer to show you the process of sampling something. Yeah, we'll find something to sample here. All right. Well, thank you. Have a great, productive, creative week. Oh, I didn't know my microphone was in the way all the time. Sorry about that. Okay. Well, it happens. All right. Peace to you all. We'll see you next week.